Hello everyone. So here I have Aujasvi Singh with me, and she's a psychologist. So let's hear a little from her. So please give your introduction. Tell us about you.
So, hello everyone. This is Aujasvi Singh. I am a counseling psychologist. I've completed my double masters in business psychology from Heriot University, Dubai, and I've also just completed my clinical psychology from Amity University, Noida. So great to
Thank
be here. Thank
Thank you for coming. Thank you for the time. So today we're here to talk about mental health. Since she is a psychologist, I thought it would be great to have her on board and talk about it. So since we know a little about you right now, so what do you think? What, according to you, is mental health?
All right. So I believe everything that we do, why do we do it? Every decision, every step of us is certainly affected by something inside us, by our experiences, by our thoughts, our emotions. Everything that we go through the entire life depends on how it is making or breaking our mental health. So according to me, mental health is something where a person is at peace with whatever they are doing, even if they are breaking their diet or they are breaking their exercise cycle, they are at peace with it. So anything that is giving them sort of contentment, satisfaction, that yes, they are in the right place, that means that they are in a positive side of their mental health. But somewhere, if certain distress is caused, or by any means they feel that they are unable to sleep, unable to eat, unable to understand their thoughts, that means that yes, they are not in the right place for the mental health.
Okay, that's great. So have you had, had any patients, or had you have seen anyone who is facing mental health issues or something like that?
Right. So I've been taking cases for about a year now, and constantly, even if there are patients with smallest issues or clients with biggest issues, something or the other is triggering it. Even if it is just anxiety, we feel it is just anxiety, but unable to decide what to wear the next day, or unable to decide what to eat or how to get up the next day, is something very, very important as an anxiety attack is. So it's very important to understand that we go through entirely a lot of situations the entire day, and there is something or the other that can actually affect us, cause us to question our certainty or our potential to take the next step. Should I take it? How do I take it? So I've had clients, and few of them, they were so bothered, and they were so troubled by what they were experiencing because of this mental health. Certain times we're not aware of what mental health is, because we feel that, oh, many term as, oh, depression ho gaya, or let's say I am so anxious. They might not even be depressed, they might just feel down, or they might just not feel as active as they were feeling the day before. That is when they forget, or they don't, they fail to understand that something or the other is deep down there, which they need to understand. And that is why it's very important that we understand that mental health is a very wide concept, where even a small pebble can trouble the whole stack of pile of
That's,
rocks.
that's true. So mental health issues, I mean, they can get very serious. Like a person can, take their own lives. It can get that serious, right? So I've heard like few of my friends back in India tell me things that just say they live in colonies, right? So some people in their colonies, they take the step of suiciding or ending their lives because they're under immense stress. Like they've taken loans, they cannot fulfill the economical duties and all of that. So they plan to end their life, and that's the only last resort they think they have. So what take do you have on this situation?
Right. So when a person reaches to a certain critical and sensitive situation, that means that they themselves and people around them, fail to understand the red flag we're noticing, right? So what happens is that when we are going through certain trouble, it is seen in our behavior, right? Things that we were able to do before, we are unable to do it then, because we are in certain situation where everything is just pressurizing us, right? What
Yeah.
happens is that have unavoidable situations, let's say debts, loans, right? This is a very high cause of anxiety and tensions, which can affect a person physically, must know, and mentally as well. And once it gets both ways, right, you don't know how to face the society, so even your social, socially your dynamics are being, triggered. So you need to understand that when certain things happen, we need to talk to somebody, right? People fail to understand the concept of asking for help. They feel that people will mock them, think that they are weak. Even if a psychologist is going through something, I mean, we have our mental health as well, right? Even as a medical student, you must know the pressure, or things we are under to get the person or the client or the patient to the satisfaction that they require, so that we also feel content that okay, this is what we have been there for. So it's very important to understand the need to talk to somebody. Unavoidable situations, like you talked about, become so bigger than the person's life, that they feel that it's okay to harm themselves. So anyone out there, even if you're going through a certain pressure, not talking to a professional, but talking to some friend, some family, some folk can help. Now this thing can also have certain advantages and disadvantages. Now let's say that I'm your best friend and you're going through something really difficult. Let's say you're going through a heartbreak. Now I, as a best friend, would advise you based on my experience, right? So somewhere or the other, I might mislead you as well. So it's better to always professional. It's not something which people will mock you for, or make you feel that, oh, look, they need certain help to even make decisions. It is absolutely, many times, I've had clients who don't have certain issues which which trigger them, or make them feel that, oh, something is wrong with their mental health. They would just come up and say that I don't know how to start my entire week. I've had clients with certain doubts as well. So it's very important to acknowledge the smallest of doubt. If you feel that you're not able to move on your own, we take help of our teachers, our mentors, our guide, guidance resources, anything that can help us reach the goal that we have made for ourselves. So why not ask somebody to help us understand mental health? Because many times we fail to cope with it. So we get into habits like self harm, substance abuse, alcoholism, and that is how we are in a circle of negative coping mechanism, because we ourselves don't know how do we have to move forward, or who do we have to talk to.
Right. Do you think this issue that comes up is also because people around judge the one in the front really frequently? Because as humans, we have tendency to judge people, right? So is it also because of judging?
Right. So definitely, I feel that society is a very big, let's say, a big ocean, right? And something so big and something that has so much power, it doesn't have that. We ourselves have given that, oh, if they say so, then it's wrong. If they say so, then it's right, right? So it's very important to understand that when you are living your life, you are making certain decisions, right? They are not helping you out. The hardships of your life, they're not helping you, cope with them. They're not helping you reach somewhere where you want to. They're just there when, for show, to talk about you, to understand, and to comment on every step you take in life. So it's very important. It takes time for us to understand through experiences that it does not matter what society says. I mean, if somebody wants to wear a black lip, right, if they want to put a black lipstick, it's on them. It's their thought, their understanding. So if society says that something is wrong with them, or their choices are very bold, or their choices are very different, it's on them, right? It's not something where you can actually trouble somebody for what they are doing, even if it's just a black lip. So it's very important to understand that certain times people will judge you, they will criticize you, but you need to understand that your life is your own journey. You are not walking or driving or just going on based on their destination. It's yours.
Right, absolutely. So in today's world where, Instagram, Facebook, and everyone's so social, especially because of Corona, we're at home and everyone is trying to reach each other out. So at times, what I feel is that I have seen people get really, tensed and anxious about their followers, their likes, the posts, all of that. And there's a lot of pressure socially. Uh, I mean, it's just so insane that you are social for yourself, but also there's a pressure that, oh, itne like nahi hai, itna post nahi dala, yeah, itne followers nahi hai, that means I'm a nobody. So what is your take on the social aspect of anxiety and pressure?
Right. So I connect to this situation personally as well, and even where I have been with client, a very a client I took a lot of sessions with. She had certain issues, and it might seem very basic that, oh, everyone wonders why aren't they getting enough likes, or why aren't people reviewing their posts. So let me talk about the client first. Now she came up to me and she said that, oh, Jasvi, I get really anxious. I start fixating on the part that nobody is reading what I write. So she was a writer, she was posting her blogs, and she constantly said, I post every day and I don't get enough appreciation, enough likes I want, right? She was getting some, but it was not up to her expectation. So what happened was that she started focusing so much on this that it troubled her sleep, her appetite, her need to function. She was getting off work because she was not able to focus on it. And to a certain level, this basic thing affected her so much that she failed to understand that there were people who were actually appreciating what she wrote. So her focus shifted totally on people who were not doing it. So constantly talking about it, there's something known as circle of control, right? So I would like to explain this to everyone out there. We are in a constant battle of what we can change and what we cannot. A basic human instinct, even if it's me practicing this for so long, we also tend to come here and fail to focus on things that we can actually not change, right? What's our focus? Oh, I wish I could have done that, I wish I could have changed that, oh, I wish things were in my favor, but they couldn't be, right? Because I can't change and control everything. So there's this example that I really use with the clients and everyone. If it rains, right? Let's say there are four people, and the first person is really excited that it's raining and they decide to go out and get wet in the rain. Then there's another person who's really sad, not in the mood, very melancholic, right? They decide to take a nap. Then there's a third person who is very frustrated. They need to go to their meetings, they have scheduled meetings, constant appointments scheduled for them, and they have to reach. Now no available taxis, they don't own a four-wheeler car, and this is something that is affecting them. Now there's a fourth person who's not bothered by it, right? If it's raining, it's fine. If it's not, he can't do anything about it. So now it's depending. Now this shows that the rain was the like constant factor, and the emotions or the way they dealt with it was very different. So it's on us to see what is the next possible option available there. Coming to the same thing, I was at once a place where I felt that, oh, if I did not get enough likes, I would just delete the post. This was way years back when I was still studying psychology. And as you grow, as you have a lot of experiences, you get to realize that this is nothing, this is not something which gives you, let's say, inner satisfaction, right? We need to understand that even if we are getting, let's say, fewer likes, we need to focus that at least we are getting those likes, right? Focusing on people who are appreciating us for what we are doing. If you feel that you're not getting enough likes, try to understand, is this what you want? Influencers build their career in this because they require that, right? They require the likes, they require the views. That's why they let's say, build their foundation for it, right? They work for it. And if this is something that you want, then you go ahead with it, right? You try and fail and try, but don't stop. But if you are just doing it for, let's say, maintaining a social profile, you need to understand that even if four of your friends are liking it, they are liking it, right? So it's very important for us to understand that there are certain situations we can't change. One picture might get 1,000 likes, one picture might just get 10 likes. It's not in my control, right? If it was in my control, I would have gotten 2,000 likes on every post, right? So it's something where we need to understand that things that we can change, we focus on them, right? Rather than focusing on things that are beyond our reach. We don't know what the peak time is. Maybe the person did not like something we posted, maybe the person just ignored it. A lot of algorithms have changed for social media, maybe they couldn't see it. So this is this is something that is beyond our reach, not in the palm of our hand. So why not focus on things that we can actually change, right?
Right, that is so true. That is so well said. So, moving on, we would want to know a little more about your journey. So, how did you think that you wanted to get into this field? Was it from
uh,
school or? How was it?
In 11th, when we had to choose our subjects, I had mathematics and biology together. So I had PCMB,
Oh my
which people
god. I had the
in
same
from.
subjects, but maths with science, everyone warned me.
I Everyone says that you don't have to travel in two different boats at the same time when you're taking maths and bio. So I was in 11th, and my parents had decided to shift to Dubai. So that is the time when I had to change schools because I had to go live with my grandmother, and I came across the subject of psychology, just before moving. So I changed, I sort of bargained my mathematics and I took psychology instead of that. Now I wanted to continue it, so it uh, started with school. The first time we read the definition of psychology, what is it? Understanding human and animal behavior. This is something that quite intrigued me a lot. I wanted to understand my own behavior because certain times, we sit there and think, why would have I done that, right? And that is something that I wanted to explore more. So it started by school. I did my psychology in 11th and 12th. I passed out high school. Then I did my psychology honors, applied psychology honors, continuing them. So now psychology has a lot of fields, right? It's like a tree having different branches, and I sort of wanted to explore some part of everything. Now main focus was on business psychology and clinical psychology, and that is what I did. So I was actually ahead of my age, and that is why I have done double masters in business psychology as well as clinical, to understand which side of me connects with more, right? So to also know that how psychology is different, even though we are understanding the behavior of, let's say, employees, training them, coaching them, understanding the business values, business environment, but the same thing we're doing with our clients in a clinical setting, right? Counseling them, understanding their daily lives, what they're doing. So it's very important for us to figure out, like, whoever out there is studying psychology, what calls out to you, what appeals to you, even if it's, let's say, it's fashion psychology, sports psychology, or let's say educational psychology, right? There's a lot of actually a lot of scope there. So you need to understand that even if you want to do all four of it, just go ahead and do it, because this is somewhere where you are actually building a lot of knowledge for you. You are gaining a lot of knowledge, a lot of understanding of how one field can work in different ways.
Right, that's so nice. So I think compared to other countries, this is what I feel. I might definitely be wrong. India is one such country that thinks, अगर मैं अपनी माँ को बोलूँ that I want to go and visit a psychologist because I'm facing some health issues, like mental health issues. So
Right.
she will say, not okay, she really won't say that, but I'm just saying in case. So, there's a tendency कि she says कि अरे पागलों के डॉक्टर पास जा रही है. That mentality कि अरे psychologist है तो पागलों का डॉक्टर ही होगा. What is that mentality? And definitely ये जो सोच है, it's rubbing out, the narrow mind is getting opened up, but there still is a part or some people that do think this. So how do you take all this in?
So we've had a lot of stereotypes, not just India. Yes, since we live here, we see that, how people resist coming to somebody to talk to, or they feel that, no, I don't want to talk to, I'm not opening up. Now, before we take sessions with clients, we need to have a consent from their side that they are willing to do so, because counseling is a voluntary process. If I want to change, I will change. If I don't want to, then nobody can, move me. So this is something where we want their consent, that yes, they are okay with the counseling. Let's say that you are referring your friend. Now I cannot just straight away call her and say, okay, now you have to take counseling, right? I need to ask for her consent. It's important to understand that it's coming from within. Nobody's pushing her, or nobody is asking her to do so on a gunpoint, right? Because do it, you want to do it, you have to do it. So similarly, we there's a lot of resistance from people's side, because they still feel that people will judge them. Again, we come back to the what society has maintained. I think it's going to take a lot of time, because this is what stereotypes are, right? Based on long talks and long teachings of what should be done or how should it be done. And that is why it's important to understand that you know basic things, right? Let's say we don't see the red flags. Let's say constant battle of life and work life and personal life balance. This is something we all have troubles with. what time should I get my personal time? So recently, just before the call, my one of my very good friends, she came up and she said that, I was working 5 days straight, and like 2 weeks straight, and she was really busy, and she was so exhausted. She was just moving, that she just got 5 days off. So it was so nice to for her to take that off, take that rest, eat what she wanted to, cook for herself, take in all the process. And that is what, we understand that mental health is certain thing which everyone is going through. But certain times there are certain people who still feel very rigid. They feel that if they acknowledge this, people might think that they're weak mentally, right? And this is something which, where a lot of influencers, a lot of psychologists, a lot of people on, I think, social media especially, has been turning it around. People are getting more used to how, what sort of approach they want to use if they are going through certain mental health issues. So yes, there is this taboo there, but it will only break once, we start accepting that we should not care about what others feel, right? We should focus on our life, our journey, and what I want to do, what I can change. Because we cannot change people's opinions and thoughts, right? I can influence everyone out there. I will try to influence, let's say, whatever I'm saying. This is my way of telling people that, this is it, you can change. But there is still a chance that they can, change their decision, that okay, we heard Aujasvi, but we will take the decision we want to. So it's similar, the same thing, that we need to understand. It's a very important approach when we feel rested well, right? When we are rested well, when we feel that okay, we have taken the necessary rest, physically, mentally, we do better, right? But certain times certain people fail to understand, and they feel that they just maybe they just need to take some days off, just need to roam somewhere. Now this is also a way of coping, right? Sort of refreshing your mental health. So it's just about awareness, how people are getting it, and how they want to accept the change.
Right. So I have seen people like they get people who go for diets, especially who want to be physically really fit. It's really good to be fit, but it's not good to strain yourself with the fitness, right? So I have seen few people who really force themselves. Like, again, if I'm doing keto diet, I'll do keto diet, and I'll force myself to eat a certain type of food. If I'm eating proteins, I'll only eat proteins. चाहे मेरी
Right,
body मर रही हो, but no, I'm
right.
going to what because those people will definitely go through the mental health issue. So what is that?
So anything extreme is dangerous. Extreme exercising, it's good for our health, but extreme, it will definitely be dangerous for our health, right? So if we strain ourselves, let's say a person working out at gym every day becomes really sore, muscles are very sore, paining, can't sit, can't move. They still want to push their limits, move faster, because they have that hunger inside them. They want to reach the level they want. Now anything extreme will be dangerous to them, right? I would personally say that if I diet, right, if I try for it at least a month, it starts affecting my mental health, because somewhere I am sort of craving it, right? So a balance needs to be maintained. If you are dieting, have the right portions, give yourself a certain day where you can actually get out of that diet and get back to it. Similarly, let's say we have weekends, right? So now we work, we have weekends to refresh ourselves and get back to work. So again, a healthy balance is needed in everything, right? Even if it's not dieting, it's just work. If you work all day, all week long, you will sort of exhaust yourself, your thoughts, your ability to work, everything will be affected. So we need a certain, sort of break. Every, part of our life, let's say a physical activity, a healthy diet, let's say certain working hours, think more of fun activities, everything should be amalgamated into one single day, so that everything is done. Everything that you would want to do, write it out, make a proper timetable, make yourself understand that if you are doing 70% of work, you make sure that you do equal amount of fun activities as well. So similarly, if somebody is starving themselves out, yes, that is your goal, definitely work hard, stay motivated, but make sure that you give yourself breaks, or you give yourself that right amount of certain, let's say certain other activity that can actually take some time off and let your body get used to what you're doing.
Right, that's nice. So there are some myths about psychology in general. that people have. So I'll just read them to you so that we
Sure.
can get clear on that, so that you can clear them out. Since we
Right.
already have an expert here.
It takes time, a lot of experiences shape us as well, even psychologists. So they need to get through to all those myths as well, especially with social media, when there's lack of awareness.
Because on social media, many people say so many things. You do not know how your audience is getting influenced, or what is it getting influenced by. So okay, so the first one that I've got is psychologists can read minds. Is that true?
I
Are they
mean,
mind
this
readers?
is something that happens whenever you go ahead and say, oh, so one of my masi, and I was there, and she asked me, oh, you've done psychology? I was like, yes. So tujhe pata hai mere mind mein kya chal raha hai? I was like, no, I'm not a mind reader, I'm a psychologist. It's about understanding your thoughts, so you share them with me, then I'll be able to read your mind better.
That's nice. Okay, so is psychology similar to psychiatry? Because many people tend to confuse with that. Can you state a fine line between them?
So, every psychiatrist, I'm so sorry. Yeah. So, all psychologists and psychiatrists, they give certain sort of therapy, but psychiatrists are strictly subjected to medicines. So, a psychiatrist will let you know which medicine you want to, or sorry, you should have, right? They will let you know that this is something that is required for the issues you're going with. And psychologists are basically for therapy and counseling and, just general assessment work to understand what is going wrong where.
Right. So, do psychologists also work in hospitals? I think they do because I have seen myself with many of them, right? Yeah.
Yes, I've done my internships in clinics, and there are psychologists, there are clinical psychologists in the clinic setting. There are even counseling psychologists there to give general counseling to clients there.
Right. So, in clinics also, I mean, you can open your own clinic and start off
Yes,
as a psychologist, right?
definitely. Right. Once you've got your master's degree in the field of psychology, you are, as it is a counseling psychologist, just getting right certification, you can actually go ahead with your own practice.
So, psychology isn't a science. Well, that is definitely wrong, I think.
Right. So I think the first thing that we studied in school was psychology as a science, psychology as an art. So now there are different schools of psychology which state the same. So anything that can be measured, that can be tested is science. Now psychology, we have certain measures in psychology to understand our aptitudes, our personality. So yes, definitely it can be taken as a science as well as an art.
Right. And is there statistics involved in psychology?
Oh, definitely. I have gone with a lot of research. We have actually studied statistics. So I did not take mathematics, but we had to study ANOVA analysis, regression, correlation, everything that is included in statistics. We have done that to understand that what population of, let's say, what population of India, or let's say what population of world do believe in mental health and what not. So forming the bell curve and everything. And definitely we need to have researches there. So anytime a research is involved, statistics is involved there to understand that how many people are there, how many people are aware of what is happening in the field of psychology to take
Right.
an
So, anything lastly that you want to tell our audience who are listening to you about mental health, about taking psychology? Because many parents stop their students taking psychology. I know कि आजकल इतना बड़ा issue नहीं है कि you can't pursue what you want, but still there are some norms कि parents बोलते कि psychologist बन के क्या कर लोगे? So, anything on that?
So I believe that it's a very nice journey, a very reflective, a very introspective journey if you take psychology, because as you learn about helping other people, you also understand how to help yourselves. Every time I take a client, or every time I have sessions with my clients, whenever I am dealing or understanding their issues, their troubles, I kind of reflect it on my own, that am I, because if I am not able to sort out my own things, how will I able to help be able to actually help the clients there. So it's a very a self awareness, a self actualization journey, because you really get to know a lot about yourself as well, how you want to proceed forward. So anybody who is passionate about them, definitely if you want to go ahead with it, you go ahead with it, because this is something that you can control, right? I personally would say that when I was in 11th and 12th, I had commerce, taken commerce due to certain school changing situations, and I did not excel in it. But when I had psychology as the only subject, I excelled a lot. This was something I loved, so I put all my hard work into it, right? It was something fun, but also something serious. So it's something that you connect with, right? Another thing I would want everyone is to maximize your positives and minimize your negatives. Try to understand your negatives as a part of yourself. Usually we say that, okay, I am like this, or I am not that tall enough, I am not that fair enough. No, these are your own part. This is something that makes you whole. So every time, anytime you feel that you are falling short somewhere, understand it, work yourself so that you can actually make that your strength as well. Other than that, keep your mental hygiene safe, and understand that even if there's a basic issue which you feel you can sort it out with the help of a friend or anybody, go talk to them, talk to people, ask for help, and everything will be fine.
It was so good talking to you. I mean, I could take a lesson or two back home. So it
Thank
was
you.
wonderful talking to you. So I'll be having more guests just like Aujasvi Singh. So please stay tuned and do watch these videos. There'll be more guests coming, some doctors, some teachers, some everyone from every other field. So thank you so much once again for being with us here.
Thank you. Stay safe. Take care.
Sarakarai, Sarak, whatever.